Alright everyone, Cowboy Trade Sir, welcome back to the channel for a quick update on Kadena. So what just happened? In the past hour, Kadena has shot up more than 20% following a new partnership. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about everything that this partnership entails. We're going to talk about, is this the start of a new bull run for Kadena, or is this simply another one of these bearish fractals which we've seen time after time again? We're going to talk about the higher time frames, lower time frames, and exactly what I'd need to see to enter a new trade on Kadena. Let's dive right into this. Now, Kadena did not pump based on USDC. It did not pump based on the fact that Kadena is now integrated in Ledger. It pumped in the past hour because Kadena has just collaborated with Various and superconnectors.io to leverage Kadena's infrastructure, building a new product which connects startups to industry players. Now, if you haven't heard of Various before, they basically create products kind of like a middleman, and they provide solutions for businesses. They provide solutions to leverage artificial intelligence, to optimize products, teams, etc. They're basically a middleman. They get involved in a little bit of everything, kind of like how economists who work in micro work as a middleman in a company to help that company better perform, and Various basically uses AI technology to do that. Now, if we come over to this new Medium paper that was published by Variety, it talks about this new collaboration with superconnectors, Various, and Kadena. The whole bread and butter of this partnership is basically that it flips the traditional pitching concept around, and it better allows startup founders to connect to well-connected people who can offer their best connections and business solutions, and in turn allow these new startup founders to create reality from their products, companies, enterprises, etc. So in theory, this should lower the time and monetary value associated with startup finders pitching their ideas to connectors, and this super connector idea will all be integrated on the Kadena blockchain. Now, I'm going to be very frank with you guys. Do I think this is the start of a new Kadena bull run? Absolutely not. If you watch my channel and you watch my thoughts on what is happening, I'm not just a cryptocurrency channel. I don't just cover altcoins. I don't just cover Bitcoin. I cover the bond market, options market, economic data, equity markets. I cover everything, insider trading, etc. I look at everything that's going on in the greater economy right now. I do believe the economy is in absolute shambles, and I don't personally believe that this one partnership with Kadena is enough to save it from coming down to new bear market lows, which if you do watch the channel, we've been predicting to be 30 cents. Now, before we dive into the lower time frames and I talk about what I would need to see from a trading perspective, I want to share with you a few fractals. Number one, this is a chart where I've basically identified the same candlestick pattern time after time again. This happens very frequently for Kadena. Now, someone posted this over in my Discord and it's very accurate. Kadena doesn't pump often, but when it does, it pumps very quickly and very violently. And when it's done with its pumps, it often leaves these massive, massive candles to the upside. You can see it has these, relatively small bodies, and it has these blow-off wicks to the upside. And this signals buyer exhaustion. The price basically runs up and up and up, and then sellers start to step into the market. Buyers are exhausted, and you can see this with these massive blow-off wicks to the upside. If you do not get continuation, if you basically have a candle to the upside and it's absolutely shoved back down, more often than not, this is a sign that you're gonna start rolling back to the downside immediately. Not always. You can see examples like over here and over here and over here where we have continued to push up, but more often than not, when you see these big blow-off candles to the upside from these wicks, you almost immediately top out in this range and start rolling back down. I also want to show you, in terms of the EMA ribbons and the bull market support bands, a lot of the time these blow-off wicks run relatively close, or actually run into a reversion to the mean on the bull market support bands or the EMA ribbons. You can see sometimes these don't quite make it and they fall a tiny bit short, and as you can see, we're very close to this reversion to the mean on the weekly time frame. If we come over to the daily, you can see we've poked our head above it, and we've already shot all the way back down to the short-term moving average on the daily EMA. You can see this happened over here, you can see this happened over here, you can see this happened over here, except this one is just a lot uglier on the daily time frame. If we come over to our next fractal, I want to show you something which I've pointed out time after time again, and this is something I actually talked about in my previous video on Kadena, saying everyone is wrong about Kadena. I basically highlighted the market psychology, how everyone was bullish up at $21, $28, $10, $7, $5, and everyone while I'm bearish as well, I've been bearish since $7. I think everyone is too bearish down at these lower levels. And what I was basically highlighting in this video is that we were very, very likely to come back up and retest the previous bear market lows before coming back down. In this fractal, we talked about the fact where you can see all-time high, you made bear market lows, then you bounce, then you break beneath the previous bear market lows and you retest them before making new bear market lows. You make new bear market lows, you lose them, you pump back up and retest them. Then you can see you break down, you make new bear market lows, you fall underneath the bear market lows and you rocket back up and retest them. New bear market lows, you fall beneath them, break up and retest them. And as you can see, what are we doing right now, guys? If we come over to the weekly time frame, if we zoom in a little bit, you can see new bear market lows were back here at 50 cent. We broke up to the upside. We broke down to 41 cent. And what have we just done? We've just done the same fractal again and again and again. And you can see on the weekly time frame, we are currently, as of the time of recording this, at 50 cent. We pumped all the way up to 60 cent. And at this moment in time, we've already corrected 10%. We had a 20% pump. It's now only a 10% pump. And we're retesting these previous bear market lows with a candle body close sitting right at 50 cent. Now, if we do have a weekly candle body close underneath 50 cent, in my opinion, that's an exceptionally bearish retest in the higher time frames. If we also come over to our next fractal, we talked about this fractal in our previous video, we were identifying major tops that happen in the weekly stochastic RSI, and we were basically highlighting how corrections to new bear market lows, or at least, macro new bear market lows, this being a new bear market low, this being a new bear market low, this being a new bear market low, and this being a new bear market low, take between 70 to 100 days or so on average. And what I want to show you is this. We recently talked about the fact that the weekly stochastic RSI is turning down, and I continue to believe that, especially coming into next week and the end of this week, this little bump up to the upside is not going to last long, and we're probably going to roll back down to the downside. Now, what I want to show you is this, and once again, this was stated very well earlier at the start of the video. Kadena doesn't pump often, but when it does, it pumps very violently. You can see often it spends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks getting annihilated, and it has 1 week where it just violently pumps back up to the upside. All of the perma bulls say, hey, the bottom was in, buy now or cry later. This violent pump happens for like a day, 2 days, and then it's done, and you roll back down to the downside for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks before having another violent pump. Now, what I want to show you is this. Since the top happened at $28, you can see these bleed outs are very brutal, and then you have aggressive pumps. These pumps have yielded 90% returns, 143% returns. This pump here was 167%. This pump here was 82%. This pump here was 91%. Then you corrected and continued to have a 69% pump. Then you broke down following the recent bottom. Over on this chart here, it says 40 cent, but we actually bottomed around about 50 cent on pretty much every single exchange. So if we come over to 50 cent, you can see after we hit 50 cent, we actually pumped up 46%. Everyone said 50 cent was the bottom. We've had a 46% pump. Then we broke down to new bear market lows. We went to 42 cent, and what do you know? We've had another 47% pump. This pump is pretty much the exact same size as the previous pump. The only difference is this pump has pumped back up to the bear market lows of the previous pump. And once again, maybe 3 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, maybe a year ago when I was covering Kadena and I said it was going to come down to $1, it was going to come down to 50 cent, people laughed at me and said, Kadena is never going to come down to 50 cent. And now people are saying, Kadena is at 50 cent, that is so bullish. But 3 months ago, 50 cent would have never happened. 50 cent was the most bearish price target anyone could possibly comprehend. And now we're at 50 cent. 50 cent is like the start of a new bull run. So once again, don't get it twisted. If this is your first time finding the channel, I'm a big fan of Kadena. This is pretty much one of the only altcoins I cover. Also Solana, because I'm big fans of Kadena and Solana. I think it's a great project for the next bull run. In fact, I think Kadena and Solana are probably 2 of the best risk to reward cryptocurrencies in the next cycle. Do not get it twisted. I like Kadena. Kadena's got a good use case. I think Kadena's going to do exceptionally well in the next cycle, but I'm an economist. I'm looking at the economy. I'm looking at economic data. I'm looking at the bond market. I'm sorry. The economy is in absolute shambles right now. It's not just Kadena. It's not just the cryptocurrency markets. The economy, in my opinion, is in shambles, and I think that most of the markets are going to proceed to break back down to the downside. Not just Kadena, I think Kadena's coming down to 30 cents still. However, of course, in the next cycle, I'm one of the few people that thinks Kadena is going to be going to, $50 or more. If you want to learn more about why I'm bullish from a technical and a fundamental perspective, I'll link this video I made below 4 months ago stating that I believe Kadena could 150x in the next cycle. Now, we were all the way up here at 90 cent when I made this video. I was saying I think we come down to 30 cent, and from 30 cent, it may not be the bottom, but from 30 cent, it can 150x. And this is still my thesis. We said this up at 90 cent, and I'm saying this again. Now we are down here at 50 cent. So let's move on from the fractals. I do want to show you in terms of the volume profiles, like we were talking about, we are in a huge area of liquidity right now. There's tons of volume previously traded at these levels. There's tons of interest to purchase around these levels. So it might take some time until we're ready to come down to the next volume profile at 30 to 31 cent. I do want to show you this. If we do continue lollygagging, so like I said a little bit earlier on, we're currently retesting the previous bear market lows. If we spend the next few days lollygagging, retesting the previous bear market lows up until the next weekly candle body close before breaking down, what we could see is we could see the MFI absolutely push up, especially when we've got a new data point on this over on Monday. This could push up a little bit further, and if this ends up being a lower high from 69 cent, if we don't manage to push above 69 cent, we could see lower highs in the price, and we could see higher highs in the oscillators, which is once again another sign of buyers being absolutely exhausted in the market. And you pair this with the fact that we're making lower highs in the macro after lower highs after lower highs, and we get some of these small violent pumps, and everyone forgets we're in a bear market. Everyone forgets that we've seen these violent pumps how many times? Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is probably the 8th violent pump that we've seen for Kadena, with this pump almost exactly matching the pump that we had from 50 cent. The only difference is the previous pump got up to 73 cent, and we've now pretty much just pumped back up, got absolutely annihilated and pushed down. We're currently at 50 cent, retesting the previous bear market lows, and everyone thinks it's the start of a new bull run. I think the fact that extreme greed has pushed back into the market is probably going to demonstrate the fact that this exact same greed fractal with the blow-off tops is very likely to play out once again. Now, what would I need to see to enter a trade? Because at this moment in time, I'm not interested in making a trade. If I made a trade up here at 60 cent, I'd be very happy to sit in it. I was actually editing a new YouTube video, turned on my phone, saw Kadena was already down at 50 cent after pumping up to 60 cent. So unfortunately, I missed the opportunity to enter at 60 cent. I was busy, I was making videos, etc. However, what would I need to see to enter a trade from a position of strength? As you can see, the daily time frame, stochastic RSI, is very close to topping out. 4-hour time frame has a bit more room to run up to the upside, so it's not impossible to get continuation. However, I just think based on the fractals we've looked at, this is probably the blow off top, and we've already seen it. So what would I need to see to enter a trade? Well, if you're a veteran of the channel, you probably know exactly what I need to see to enter a trade, because in the past 6 months or so, I remember we've probably entered about 3 trades. One was up here at $1.12, one was up here at $1.40, and the other one was back here around about $2.40. What did all of these have in common? They were all reversions to the mean on the weekly bull market support bands and the weekly EMA ribbons. Every single time Kadena has come back into these levels, we've opened 10x shorts and watched us absolutely get annihilated down into new bear market lows almost every single time. We've never made a trade for Kadena on this channel which hasn't ended up in the profit, and that's because we only enter trades from positions of strength. At this moment in time, I don't see this as a position of strength. If you entered up at 60 cent on a relatively low leverage, I think you're completely safe. If you entered up at 60 cent on a relatively low leverage, I'm envious of you. I was busy. I guess you can't catch them all. Doesn't really matter. I'm not really envious. It's kind of just a joke. Nonetheless, what would I need to see to enter a trade? I would love to see, although I don't think it's going to happen, I would love to see Kadena push up to 70 cent. If that does happen round about this area, I will provide you with a new video talking about my game plan on the next trade. Like I said though, based on these fractals, based on what's happening in the markets at this moment in time, if you want to learn more about my thoughts on the markets, the economy, like I said, I am not just a Kadena YouTuber. I don't just make altcoin videos. I don't just make Bitcoin videos. We talk about the economy. We talk about economic data. We talk about very important markets like the bond market, equity markets, which a lot of cryptocurrency and Kadena YouTubers do not talk about. If you want a more in-depth insight into what is happening in markets outside of Kadena, make sure to check out my YouTube channel. But based on the fact that I believe markets are about to roll down and the fact that this seems like the exact same fractal we've seen time after time again with Kadena, I do not think this is the start of a new bull run. I think this is once again another dead cat bounce fractal exactly like this. We'll see how this video plays out in the next few weeks or so, but I do believe Kadena is going to be coming down to this massive volume cluster that we've been talking about on the channel all the way down here at 30 cent. When I see oscillators telling me we're flipping bearish again and getting ready to roll back down to the downside, I will of course let you know. But in terms of the macro, I think if we do close beneath this 50 cent level, this is just going to be another picture perfect retest of the previous bear market lows like we have seen time after time again. So for today, my friends, that is all I've got. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, remember, don't take this the wrong way. I'm a huge fan of Kadena in the macro, but I am a realist, and I think in the lower time frames, we're going to come back down. It's just as simple as that, guys. If you enjoy the content, make sure to let me know down below by leaving a like and a comment. Share the videos with your friends. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button and become a member today. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'm out. Peace.